Hey, me again. Uh, Still dissecting this week. You have Republicans and Democrats in the nation's capital. We all know 90% of them are on the tape, whether it be China, the mafia, whatever. The other ones are ones we can trust. Those are the people like Ted Cruz and Rubio. I'm tired of hearing the media say it was the first time this has ever happened. This hasn't happened in 200 years. Breach of the Capitol. Well, I did some fact checking myself, and that's a lie. In fact, the most recent one was in 2018 during the anti-Kavanaugh protest. I also remember another one in 2004. Liberals got in and they were singing songs and clapping. That was online earlier, but I can't find it now. I wonder why. This is from the World Tribune. 6 other times the U.S. Capitol was breached. Of course, the war, 1812. There was a bomb in the Senate in 1915. Puerto Rican nationalists shot the place up in 1954. There was a leftist bombing in 1971. There was another leftist bombing in 1983. And there was the murder of 2 police officers by the leftist movement in 1998. And that's just what they haven't been able to take down yet. I'm pretty sure there was one last year also. I do know BLM and Antifa last year were burning and looting all of Washington, destroyed monuments of this nation's history, and not one of them was brought to justice. I was watching an interview earlier with Leo Kelly, who is, by his own admission, a Trumpster who was at the rally, and he went into the Capitol building. And I've seen videos to support what he says, which is they were allowed to walk in. They opened the barricades. After so many of them had started clambering walls, they opened barricades, let them in to the public areas. He said when he got to the Senate area floor, there were over 100 people with him, and they had a line of police officers that would not let him on, past them more onto the floor, and they were watching as the crazed madmen you see on TV, like the Viking, were doing their thing down there. He couldn't tell if the police line was protecting them from those people or if they were protecting the Capitol. You hear all these conspiracies already, but I do know, earlier today I heard that more than half the people arrested for breaching the Capitol were not pro-Trump, they were not MAGA, they were Antifa and QAnon. And there was also a report I found by Senator Gohmert on One American News, who said 2 days before the inauguration, on January 4th, their Antifa insider notified the Capitol Police that they were sneaking into that rally and they were going to break it up. Would you put it past the extreme left to do this to themselves just so they could try to impeach President Trump again? Just so they could scare members of the House and the Senate into not objecting to the Electoral College? I can see them doing it. Biden has called us thugs. Harris keeps saying she's going to reform the justice system. The justice system that she's been in. The one where she would send people to prison for the rest of their lives just because they were black and had a joint on them. Oh, but she let everyone go, including the pedophiles and murderers, so that should make it okay, I guess. What I find most disheartening about all of this, as we said before, My last video, I didn't know my right from my left, I guess. It was how I was watching the camera. People on the right, people on the left. You have the extremists on both sides. Those are the people that are in office. Those are the liars. Those are the cheaters. Those are the pieces of trash. The rest of us are being bounced around. It's easy. You know, you hear all these percentages depending on what you watch and what you look into. I hear anything from 50 to 90% of the MAGA pro-Trump supporters believe that the election was fraudulent. And depending on what you see, on which channel, I also hear 20 to 50% of the Democrats. If you take those numbers, add them together, and all of us came into this as one. I'll tell you right now, I voted for Trump. But before I voted for Trump, I voted for Obama twice. I'm a libertarian, and I believe that everybody has a chance. You have good people and bad people in every party. And it has come to the point in this country that there are too many of the bad people in office. So what do? We're going to have to take it back. You march in peacefully, and you tell them you can resign. You're not getting a paycheck anymore. We will hold elections on such and such date. You're more than welcome to rerun. And we do this for the entire country, including the Supreme Court. The only people you don't touch are your county officials who are going to be in charge of the elections, the police officials, state court officials, State Department of Justice, County Department of Justice officials, because after we do the nation, those people can be weeded out later. Right now we're looking at our rights being taken from us. It wasn't just President Trump that got kicked off Twitter. It was a couple hundred other people also. Now CNN saying that they want Fox News taken off the air. Why? Well, because you have people like Tucker Carlson and Hannity and Laura Ingraham. Don't be afraid to stand up. Don't let these people scare you into not standing up. One of the things I really, really detest is that you have these college kids who are just crazy far left liberals, but I have to give it to them. At least they get out there and at least they stand up for what they believe in. The rest of us should take that and apply it to our own lives. Pull your head out of your ass. Pull your head out of the sand. Get active. Get out there. Let's get this country back. There are a lot of good things you can do. The first thing is cancel your Amazon account. Stop going to Walmart. Get rid of Facebook. Get rid of Twitter. Get off TikTok. Go back to the way things used to be, where you used your phone and you used your voice and you talked to each other. There are a couple of good websites. One is called the Walkaway Campaign. That's a really good website to check out. Good organization. Another one is Clout Hub. I tried the MeWe thing. I'm on Parler. I'm going to try the Clout Hub. We got to get this nation back, people. We got to do it now. We can't go on anymore. If this continues, by this time next year, one of two things are going to happen. Number one is we're going to be walking around like mindless idiots because the government's going to be controlling us. It's coming. It's already there. You wear your mask everywhere, don't you? For something that's 99.9% survivable. Polio was worse than that. The swine flu was worse than that. Come on, people. Wake up. The other possible scenario is that we're at war. And the media keeps talking about a civil war. They're trying to scare you. There's not going to be a civil war because there's too many of us who share the same common ground. And that common ground is get rid of this trash in Washington. They're the ones doing it, not us. They're the ones who are giving the eloquent speeches and telling lies. And some of us believe some lies and some of us believe other lies. That's basically what it boils down to. We're not going to fight each other. No, what they're afraid of is we're going to go back to what I liken this to is Revolutionary War. We got tired of being governed and taxed without representation. And that is exactly what's going on here. They're taxing us. They're taking that money. They're sending it overseas. How many of you got your $600? Nobody I know. I bet all those countries overseas, I bet they got them. They got their money. Guarantee they got their money because they needed it to pay Biden. But that's my nightly rant, weekly rant. Pull your heads out of your asses. Try to look this stuff up yourself best you can. They're taking a lot of it down. They're going to take more of it down by the minute, by the hour, by the day. They're already removing actual history about the Capitol building. They're removing it from the White House. One thing I want to add is there's a organization in Arizona. They're recounting the Arizona ballots. Even though the electoral vote is done, they want to know. They also have a man in Georgia, and right now, this past week, a judge gave election officials 10 days to prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that there was no foul play in that election. If they cannot prove that within 10 days, well, the judge is going to turn over all of the voting ballots, whether it be mail-in, in-person, machine, whatever, to this man and his organization to go through. So you know what your great nation did while you had your head in the sand? The FBI went in, seized all the ballots, and they're in the process of shredding them right now. Why would they do that if there was no funny business going on? Wake up, people. Our kids depend on it. Okay, so I'm sitting here and I'm putting together my video to put on YouTube for you. Smoking a cigarette, got a cold beverage. A friend of mine sends me a link. Yahoo News. This is exactly what I was talking about already. Jake Angeli. Remember I was talking about the police line and Leo Kelly didn't know if they were trying to keep those people in or keep them out or they're putting on a show. And I said I wouldn't put it past the Democratic Party to stage this, not really stage it, but to make sure that it happened at just the right time. In fact, news agencies started to report the breach of the White House at 9:37 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. 9:37 a.m. Nobody was at the Capitol building. I know I said White House, but nobody was at the Capitol building yet. They knew it was going to happen. One of the reasons they knew it was going to happen is because of Jake Angeli. The QAnon shaman from Arizona, was at the heart of the Capitol riots. He was also arrested several times during the BLM riots. He was the one that was in chairman of the House's seat with his little horns. Despite his brazen entry into the Capitol building, it is not thought that Angeli was arrested. So does that mean everyone in the floor and the people that were in Pelosi's office? This was all a huge act put on by the Democratic people. The few in charge, not all of them. A lot of them probably thought things were real, and things were real. But a few of them, like Pelosi, and I wouldn't doubt McConnell too, he's probably right there with it. Those two are sleeping together on the side, just so you know. Would you doubt it? I wouldn't. Not at this point. Kim and Schumer and Schiff are probably training Pelosi to be nice, which is never going to happen. But look up Jake Angeli. I'm gonna try to put this link at the bottom of my description, and it's hard to do that. They're really not letting us do that too much. Before YouTube even posts something, they go completely through it, and we're getting really bad. So I did want you to see that, and I hope it provokes thought. The guy sitting in the chair behind the police line wasn't arrested as far as anybody knows, and he's been caught on camera at several BLM riots, several Antifa riots. He's been burning and looting this country, all over this country. Who's paying him to do it? Put your head out of your asses, people. Till next time.